Most of us have Judas wrong. Most of us think Judas was some greedy guy that was just stealing money from the money bags, and when he had an opportunity to sell Jesus out for 30 pieces of silver, that he was just going to sell Jesus out because he was money hungry. What you have to understand is Judas had a vision of the kingdom without a cross. You see, Judas saw that Jesus was the Messiah and that he was going to throw off Rome and that he was going to establish Jerusalem as the capital of the world. His theology told him that the Messiah was going to be a conqueror. And this idea of Jesus suffering was not in his paradigm. What Peter vocalized, remember when Jesus mentioned the cross, Peter pulled him aside and said, "Not so, Jesus." And Jesus turned and said to him and said, "Get behind me, Satan." Do you remember that Bible story? What Peter vocalized, Judas plotted. He said, "I'm going to make him act. He is the Messiah." And when he said, "I'm going to force soldiers to come. I'm going to force a conflict. I'm going to force something to happen. And it's going to force Jesus to take up arms. It's going to force Jesus to reveal who he is. It's going to force him to follow my vision of the kingdom without a cross." You see, Judas had a religious vision. And as he stayed with Jesus long enough, that religious vision was not being realized. And this is where church folks get demonic. You're not talking about mission of the church. You're not talking about morals and ethics. You're talking about vision. And when folks got a different vision. Look at this passage of Scripture. Jesus points out that his betrayer has the hand in the dish with him. Some other passages refer to that. This passage says that he hands him the piece of bread, which is the appearance of intimacy. Culturally, sharing the same dish was an act of intimacy. But Judas wanted to look like he was intimate with Jesus. He wanted to look like he was close to Jesus. But he wanted intimacy without covenant. You see, after this passage of Scripture, where Judas leaves, then Jesus does communion. Then Jesus says, "This is the New Testament, this is in my blood." Then Jesus breaks the bread and said, "This is my body that's broken for you." You see, the person that operates in the Judas spirit, they're going to want to control the vision. And they want intimacy, but they don't want covenant. They want to look like they're close to the leader. They want to be close to the leader. But when it comes time to make a decision, when it comes to a point where you got to cut covenant and go your right way or go the way that God has for you, or it forces them to submit to your vision, they're going to break ranks and they're not going to cut covenant with you.